Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. I want to remind you, we're all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our official website, thestephennightshow.com. All right, so T.I. has following his call out to 50 Cent to do a versus battle, T.I. is now demanding that his long career be acknowledged and that some respect is put on his name. In a recent interview with popular LA radio host Big Boy, T.I. discussed his musical legacy and stated that he deserves to be mentioned among the greatest in the industry, specifically naming the heavyweights like Kanye West, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne. T.I. recently proclaimed his name should be mentioned in those conversations. Despite not being in the musical spotlight as much as he once was, T.I. made it clear that he is still a legend. He said, people don't realize who I am. I don't think y'all know who I am. I don't think y'all remember what I've done, bro. I don't think y'all know. Just because I don't jump on tables and demand you pay me attention, that don't mean you're going to have to put mine up there. When you're talking about careers and legacies, you got to put me up there with Jay-Z. You got to talk about Kanye. You got to talk about Lil Wayne. Now, bringing back the possible verses with 50. Now, 50 did clown him when he said that he wanted to do one with 50. He reposted a old Crime Stoppers video clip. T.I. threw some shade back at 50 Cent talking about his album, The Massacre, which came out in 2005, saying that his music fell off after that. T.I. wrote, for the record, in 2005, 50 Cent dropped Massacre and it sold 700,000 in the first week. 2006, I dropped King and it sold 475,000 first week. 2007, I dropped T.I. versus Tip, sold 500,000, excuse me. And then 2008, we came back with Paper Trail and it sold 600,000 first week. And then I went to prison twice. But what the F, 50? What you been doing? Now, there's no word on whether or not they're going to have the versus battle. Ms. Parker, what are your thoughts?
It's more the battle of the Eagles.
Do you think T.I. should be up there with those greats? Is he considered?
I mean, I think this whole conversation is childish, and I think it's the battle of the Eagles. But I'll leave that alone. But I think 50 Cent's catalog compared to T.I.'s is no comparison. I think T.I. catalog is a winning battle if it comes down to the versus battle, which hasn't really been battles. They've been pretty friendly, I would say, celebration of music. But I do think T.I. have more of a catalog and more hits to be the clear winner. That shouldn't even, I don't even know why that's even a conversation. 50 Cent's first album was it, and after that, I don't remember anything else.
Got a lot of features, yeah.
But I will say that this whole conversation about T.I. being the great, T.I. he's always had an ego, and I think that's just part of it coming out. That's just how he is. He came out as this little dude in his 20s, telling everyone he was the greatest. You have to kind of believe that about yourself. You know what I mean? Like, he willed himself into his career, and I can't fault him for that, right? Mm-hmm. He sold us on the fact that he was the greatest, but no, if you're talking about he's more of a regional rapper, I would say. Do they play his stuff on other coasts as much as they do here in the South? Probably not. And so I think that he is a legend for the type of music that he's made, but he hasn't crossed over all regions, I would say. For example, like a Jay-Z. Jay-Z is a legend. That's not even a debatable conversation. But would you automatically put him in that category? No, because he doesn't have the same appeal. He doesn't have that commercial appeal that has transcended all of the regional. He's more of a regional rapper. He's a down south rapper. He is a legend within that scene, within his lane.
Okay. Chike.
So I'm just going to be honest. Coming from the North, I'm not really checking for T.I. like that. Does he have a few songs that I listen to? Yeah, he has a few bangers that I listen to. I don't really own any T.I. material. For that matter, I don't really own any 50 Cent material either, because 50 Cent doesn't really put out the kind of music that I gravitate toward. As far as legendaries, I mean, what makes you a legend? Because you've been in it a long time? Does that make you a legend? Or putting out consistently quality music that appeals to the masses, does that make you a legend? If that's the case, neither one of them. I mean, with the other things that they have done, you know, T.I. has done legendary stuff as far as reality and business wise and what he's done for his community, you know, things like that. 50 Cent, you know, he's branched off into films. He's become a dynamic producer when it comes to movies and television shows. What makes you a legend? And I think that's all relative. I just don't think that they should be coming at the verses with this energy because it's kind of negative. And the way that it left off, especially with the way that the Queens have, you know, left off and made it, you know, a positive thing. Mm-hmm. I just think I shrug at this negative energy toward it.
What do you think, Naya?
The thing for me is most of the time people who, when you have to have that conversation, you know, you can't convince people of how they don't see you. You know, you just gotta be big enough for them to see you that way. He ain't never gonna have a conversation like this. You know, he ain't never gonna say my name should be mentioned. You know, what I mean, he already
never. Yeah.
It's just not dialogue for people who are already. So no matter how much you fuss and fight and say, I remember Brandy did this about her brother Ray J, and I actually like Ray J, but I remember she was saying my brother, you know, he got chops that are comparable to D'Angelo on his Voodoo album. And I'm thinking, all right, so it's a big bit of a stretch. But I get what you're trying to do for your brother. But, you know, if people don't see you that way, for the most part, you ain't going to convince them, you know.
And you can't claim what you do in the shower. Like, we don't see that. Where is it?
Right.
Right. What do you think, Steve?
Yeah, I actually think that'd be a good battle if it wasn't as messy as it's gotten. You know what I mean? Yeah. In terms of their repertoire. But yeah, I do agree. I don't think that. I mean, he's the king of the South. They love him out here. Yeah. You know, it doesn't take away from what he's done, but I think history should show where he is in terms of legacy, not what he says he is.
Right.
All right, so the Washington Redskins have just released in a statement announcing that the team has decided to retire the name and logo amid criticism for the racist connotation. Now, as of now, the team has yet to decide a new name. If you remember, the owner of the Redskins said he would never change the name. Mm-hmm. He never changed the name, but they had some high dollar sponsors such as FedEx. I think they had like $200 million towards sponsorship with Redskins, and they threatened to pull out. And so money talks, and it's talking. What are your thoughts, Ms. Parker, on this? Mind you, it's been the Redskins since 1933, which is considered a derogatory racial slur towards Native Americans, and they've been trying to get that name changed since 1933. Ms. Parker.
And the fact that the name been around since 1933 already, to me, says a lot. You know, when the name was introduced at that time, I'm sure racism was even more rampant than it is now. You know, and so it's a reflection of the time too, right? And it's time that we make the changes that are no longer conducive to moving forward into society as a unified and healed and just nation. So anything that disrupt that or that is not in line with that, I think needs to be changed. And so yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah, Chike.
I'm getting a little sick of all this stuff, all this name changing and tearing down monuments and going back in the past and trying to right all the wrongs. I think that they should do what they've done to us. They need to build a building and stick it somewhere and put all of their crap into it. And if you want it so bad, go visit it. Go in there and pay a ticket price to go watch it and see it and enjoy it. But have it in the confines of, you know, some wall somewhere. We don't want to be subject to all that racism. Go somewhere and look at it. Take your little flag, take your little monuments, take all that stuff and put it in one building, and y'all pay a nice little price and y'all can go admire it on your own.
Exactly. Naya?
Yeah, we know it's time for it to change. It's been time for it to change, and it needs to change. And there's nothing else to go with that. We know what's happening. We know it wouldn't be easy. It's not gonna be easy. But things like this need to happen. And kudos to FedEx for threatening to hit the pockets. But it's gonna take a lot more than that. A lot more than names changing if that's the case. But definitely, it's a progressive thing that should happen, needs to happen.
Yep, and money talks. Money talks. All right, our last story. Sadly, authorities confirmed that they have found the body of actress Naya Rivera in Ventura Ventura, counties, Lake Pure today. She was 33 years old. Her body was found floating in the northeast area of the lake this morning, 5 days after authorities declared her missing. On Wednesday, she had gone on the lake that afternoon and rented a pontoon boat with her 4-year-old son, Josie. Her son was later found sleeping by himself in the boat by another boater who made the initial 911 call. Naya was nowhere to be found, but authorities report they found one life jacket on the boat, and then Josie was wearing another one. Since Naya's disappearance, fans and friends have been relentless in helping find her, putting the pressure on local authorities and posting heartfelt messages. Now, the Glee cast, they were seen holding hands today where her body was found. Today also is the 7-year death anniversary of Corey Monteith's passing. If you remember, I think about 3 people have passed that were on that cast of Glee. So our thoughts and prayers are definitely with that family. Ms. Parker, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's heartbreaking, that she left not only her mom, brothers, and extended family and friends, but a 4-year-old little boy that's going to grow up without a mother. I couldn't think of anything more heartbreaking. And so my condolences to her family, friends, and everyone who loved her.
Yeah, Chike.
Exactly. My sentiments exactly. And I was a fan. She's been in a couple of things that, I admired. Hearts and prayers go out to the family, and also hearts and prayers go out to the Travolta family as well. John Travolta lost his wife, Kelly Preston, who I was a longtime fan of. Yeah. So, prayers out to you guys.
She had a 2-year battle with breast cancer, and they didn't tell anyone, and she passed away today. Yeah. Naya, your thoughts?
Yes, it's such a strange thing. It makes me wonder what happened.
Yeah.
What happened? It's very sad. The boy, someone will step in, but he won't have his biological mother, and that's going to be very, very hard for him, I'm sure. But as long as he's brought up in love, it'll be easier. Very sad. Sympathies.
Yeah. Very sad and very tragic. Our thoughts and prayers are definitely with that family, the fans, and with the Travolta family. Ms. Parker, see you in Mental Health Mondays. Chike, I'll see you in movie reviews. And Naya, I'll see you next week.
See you guys.
All right, right back after this.